The first weekend in January remains one of the most romantic dates in the English footballing calendar. It marks the FA Cup third round, where the big fishes from the top two divisions join the minnows from the lower reaches of the footballing pyramid. Good evening to you all from Kenilworth Road, and welcome to ESPN's coverage of the Cup. It's Luton Town against Liverpool. Adrian Healy, joined by Seamus Mallon, and Seamus, Liverpool will be looking to avoid a repeat of last year's humiliation to Burnley at the same stage of the competition. Already plenty of games played today.
That's right. They will be looking to not to slip on any banana here. There's some interesting results. Chelsea had to battle back and win 2-1 against Huddersfield, and Villa got a tricky tie out of the way away to Hull City. And Blackburn comfortable against QPR. Blackburn on a very good streak at the moment. But some interesting battles there. Wigan and Leeds will have to go at it again, as will West Brom and Reading.
Everton needed a late equaliser from Leon Osman to snatch a draw against Millwall as well. It's the first time for many a moon that all 20 Premiership teams have been kept apart in this third round draw. It's the Premiership against the Championship. Liverpool travelling to Luton. The lineups and kickoff coming up next. Luton as a football club actually founded before Liverpool by some 7 years. This is the side that Mike Newell puts out tonight. Number 19, Steve Howard, is the big threat. He's scored goals aplenty in his 4 years here. And they have a Trinidadian international in Carlos Edwards and an Australian player as well, number 4, Chris Coyne.
Well, you've got to wonder about the back four. Heikkinen, Coyne, Underwood and Foley. They are going to be up against fantastic attacking display of international quality players that Liverpool will put out there. So really, they are going to be tested mightily, as will, of course, Beresford, the keeper.
Well, no repeat of the team selection of Turf Moor 12 months ago. It's a very strong side that Rafa Benitez puts out. And really, the first choice starting lineup at the back.
Yep, very much so. They are not going to make any mistakes there. The goalkeeping, of course, one change there. Obviously, Scott Carson, the youngster, 20 years of age, comes in to play. Dudek is still out injured. But Reina gets a rest. And Carson had a couple of really big-time matches in the Champions League last year. So he is certainly up for a trip to Luton.
Rafa Benitez admitting he was quite surprised by the strength of feeling for this tournament. Supporters claiming that he didn't care enough about the tournament last year. He put out Zach Whitbread, Neil Mellor, Darren Potter, David Raven and John Welsh amongst the starters against the Championship sides. Burnley 12 months ago. They lost 1-0. But it was all uphill from that point onwards for Rafa Benitez and Liverpool, who of course tasted glory in the Champions League just 5 months later.
Yeah, and it was an infamous loss in other ways too, because it was an own goal by Traore, who did this incredibly mindless pirouette with the ball across the face of his own goal and played it into his own net. And that added insult to injury. But we're not going to, I think, have that kind of a likely outcome tonight. You see Steven Gerrard absolutely in good form at the moment. And Luton know that they will have to just give 110% here, but they've really got nothing to lose. It's one of the, as you say, the great thrills of the third round is this kind of matchup. And, of course, tomorrow also non-league Burton playing Manchester United.
The respective captains are Kevin Nicholls and Steven Gerrard. Kevin Nicholls was the Supporters Player of the Year here at Luton last year. It was a very successful campaign for them. They were League One champions, fighting their way back up to the Championship, essentially the second tier of English football.
Well, Nicholls has made a habit of being a captain. He was also captain of the under 18, 19 and 20s for the England national program. Obviously a leader and then some, a crunching tackler and a huge fan favorite.
The two sides in very different sorts of form domestically. There's the trophy they're playing for. I don't think that's the real thing. If it is, we've got a problem on our hands. Luton in 9th place in the English Championship, but they've actually lost 5 of their last 7, including the Derby defeat to Watford on Monday. They went down by 2-1 here at Kenilworth Road. Liverpool, of course, have been in very fine form indeed. In fact, their last defeat domestically came back on the 25th of October. That in the cup competition, the League Cup, where they went out to Crystal Palace. And since that point, Seamus, Liverpool, at least in this country, have scored 26 goals, led in just 3. And that includes 11 straight wins in the Premiership before their 2-2 draw against Bolton last time out.
Yeah, and a draw that they were a little bit fortunate to get at the end. They will have felt they dominated the match, but they had to come back twice and they fell behind. But this is a different opponent today, different competition, full of passion and excitement and expectations of where will the turnover, where will the big upset come from? Could this be one of them?
This is Sami Hyypiä giving Scott Carson his first touch. Just 8 first-team games so far for Scott Carson. Signed this time last year from Leeds United. And an early foray forward for Rowan Vine. His attempted angle ball into the area, deflected away. There's Carlos Edwards, the Trinidadian. He was talking during the week about his keenness to play against some of the big names, particularly Gerrard and Crouch, who he might well face in the World Cup finals, playing for Trinidad against England.
Well, that was a good attempt to get a swift counter-attack going by Luton just a moment ago. And it all came from a crunching tackle from none other than Kevin Nichols, who really stood up Mohamed Sissoko and won the ball to play forward quickly to Vine.
Burkovic. Luton have worked it well. This is Rowan Vine once more. Up against Jamie Carragher, delivers a telling pass, which required intervention from Sissoko. Rowan Vine, 9 goals last year in Luton's promotion season. Had his trade previously with Portsmouth and Colchester. First corner of the evening. Bent in invitingly, but there was climbing at the far post. Chris Coyne, the Australian central defender, in his 5th year now with Luton. Discovered by one Harry Redknapp.
Harry Redknapp, yes. The all-seeing, all-knowing Harry. Picked him out from Australia. It's been, actually, his most successful run was with Dundee in Scotland, having started out in Perth. That is Perth, Australia, not Perth in Scotland.
You wonder whether there's still time for Chris Coyne to play himself back into any sort of Australia national team squad contention. Gerrard hooking it away. Marcus Heikkinen, Finnish fullback. There's Mike Newell, Liverpool born and bred. He came up through the Anfield youth system, never played for Liverpool, and then Brian Steen alongside.
Yeah, and both of them scored in that 3-0 victory in '87. The third match to break that tie.
Newell has been manager here since June 2003, where legend has it he was appointed due to a phone poll conducted amongst Luton fans as to who they would like to replace Joe Kinnear at that time. Harry Kewell, loose first touch. Edwards giving chase. Sami Hyypiä has missed only 6 Premier League games in some 5 years now for Liverpool. There are the available substitutes for Luton Town, including Northern Ireland international Warren Feeney, wearing number 10.
And Shawunmi, number 16, who is a Nigerian international, London-born, but now just got himself a Nigerian cap of late.
Kewell's touch on to Cisse. The Frenchman couldn't return the favour. Paul Underwood with a 50-yard ball forward for Rowan Vine to try and feast upon. Keeps it in play, does well, Vine. Howard is the target. Header only half away. And then the shot from Kevin Nichols was blocked. Sissoko can lead the counter-attack. Finnan to Gerrard, looking for Crouch's run. But Marlon Beresford will come out and claim his first touch of the ball, the 36-year-old Luton keeper.
Well, Liverpool biding their time in the first 5 minutes, expecting a lot of pressure from the home side. But just not panicking and just seeing what Luton have got, and then looking, of course, for the quick counter-attack.
It was Kuhl this time. Couldn't control a fierce ball at his head. And Foley across to claim possession. Luton setting out their stall to play a direct style of football. Ball overhit by Gerrard, looking for Sissoko. Steven Gerrard has only scored one goal in this competition. That came back in 2001, a quarter-final win against Tranmere. But he is the side's leading scorer in all competitions this season with 13. In fact, he scored in every competition that Liverpool have played in.
Well, here's Finnan, and you see the bench. Kromkamp is a player, a right back, just been signed from Villarreal. The thoughts of being a right back to put perhaps a little bit of pressure on Finnan, which Josemi did not really produce in the way that was expected by Benitez. So he's back to Spain. An even transfer, 1-for-1 to Villarreal.
Djibril Cissé judged to have pushed off. Cissé came back in fine style from that broken leg last year. 8 of Cissé's 11 goals this season have come in Europe. Now Harry Kuhl, chance to make forward progress. Work it inside to Sissoko. Touch from Cissé. Gerrard back to him. Djibril Cissé. It needed the intervention of Coyne. Just toe poked it away from Cissé.
Well, there you see the threat I talked about before the game, Adrian, that took threat right at the heart of the back four when those players begin to make those quick passing movements and speedy returns and decisive decisions on where to get when to release the ball. Right at the heart of the back four.
First corner for the visitors. Gerrard to deliver, and Cissé was there. Second ball, and Hupia flashed at it. The drive right across the face of goal. No end product for Liverpool.
Yeah, it's not a very good defending, really, but Hupia will regret that one. He has scored some goals for them, certainly a big one in Europe that he'll never forget. But that one last season, that one was just off target, and they've got such power in the set pieces when they bring him forward. No question that that's going to be, the set pieces are going to be a real problem for Luton. Keep in mind the fast-paced attack through the heart of their back four.
Luton Town went out of the competition at this stage last year. They lost home to Brentford 2-0. Time, of course, playing in League One, as were their opposition. In fact, they haven't won a home game in the third round since 1994. Carlos Edwards lining up a long throw. Jamie Carragher meeting it firmly. Down the line from Underwoods. Scott Carson eventually gathering possession safely.
Well, Carson, who came into play against Juventus last year when Liverpool put together that remarkable streak and did very well. They won 2-1. Then he was in one of the Chelsea semi-finals, the 0-0 draw.
I seem to remember he made a very important save in that 2-1 Liverpool win.
Yes, he did.
It's Alessandro Del Piero.
That's right, yeah.
Wide-ranging crossfield ball. Kuhl's on the end of it. This is Harry Kuhl. Well, he was with his back to goal. He had to hook it back across the face of goal and hope that support would be there. It wasn't. Harry Kuhl yet to score this season for Liverpool.
But his form has certainly picked up in the last several matches. He's on a very good patch of form at the moment, playing with authority down that left side. It has really been a good answer. The goals haven't flowed, but certainly his combination play has been terrific.
Steve Finnan, again, not hesitating to go long. Cissé was running into the inside right channel. Nichols losing out in midfield for Luton, but the ball falls nicely for Ahmed Berkovic, the Croatian midfielder. Flick on from Howard to no avail. Steve Howard has been scoring goals for fun since arriving from Northampton 5 years ago. The club's third all-time scorer. And Howard again threatening to burst through.
Well, you talked about the direct style a few moments ago, Adrian, and certainly that is very much what Luton are putting out on the field today. That was a great ball a few moments ago, played forward by Berkovic on the left side of midfield, and once again from the right side, early ball. It's another early ball. Good run.
Vine hooking it back across, right at Scott Carson. Rowan Vine scored 4 cup goals for Colchester in his time.
Well, there you saw again the early ball coming out of the midfield. Not a bad effort by Vine, was it? It's a very good ball played forward. The second one by Berkovic. Second in a row in the last few minutes.
And prodded forward, this time Carragher across to tidy up for Liverpool. Xavi Alonso to the far side where Steven Gerrard hits his stride. It also runs into Kevin Foley. Republic of Ireland under 21 defender.
Nice tackle from Risa, though, who comes up frequently to support that attack. Risa, of course, now maybe fine, not just at left back, but frequently in the left side of midfield as well. But this is the run by Gerrard. Eventually he's squeezed out by 2 players. Foley does very well, but Carroll Edwards' pressure was very helpful too.
Extremely highly regarded in Luton is Kevin Foley, known as a quick decision maker.
Yeah, a product of I mean, he is Republic of Ireland, as you mentioned, international, but he's a product of the youth system here. And he's got a very promising career in front of him.
Mike Newell, who also played for Leicester, Everton, and probably most famously Blackburn. Part of the Blackburn side that won the Premiership title in 1995, although he barely appeared that season due to injury. Cisse not for the first time tonight, caught offside.
Well, you mentioned about his goals, the goals in Europe, but one of the goals he scored that Liverpool fans were very happy with was at Everton. And they had been ahead 2-0, and then it was closed to 2-1, and Cisse scored a wonderful goal in the second half to make it 3-1, and that's how it ended.
Liverpool with just one FA Cup final appearance in the last 9 years. That was the wonderful final back in 2001. First one at the Millennium Stadium, where they came from behind to beat Arsenal 2-1.
That was the Michael Owen show. Yeah, that's 2 sparkling goals from Michael Owen. It was real Roy of the Rovers stuff, that match. It was fantastic. And 2 unbelievable finishes by Michael Owen to come from behind and get to the 2-1 win. It was a real shocker for Arsenal and their fans. But they've won 4 cups in the last 20 years, Liverpool.
And 6 wins overall. I'm sure the 2 their fans enjoyed the most were the 2 in the late 80s against
right.
Everton.
I knew you were going to say that. Yes. Yeah, and one of them was in extra time, actually. It was 3-2 match.
Flick on. It was a solid one, but Berkovic unable to keep it in.
Well, so far, you have to say Luton are holding their own. They've not really buckled at the back. They've looked in trouble a few times only. And they've been rather enterprising in getting the ball forward quickly.
Cisse a sharp turn. Quickly across to marshal him. It's Heikkinen and Underwood. Cisse gets his cross in, finds Crouch. Peter Crouch on the turn. No space available. Has to go back to Cisse. And then the shot from Gerrard. Oh, what a strike. Steven Gerrard scores his first cup goal for nearly 5 years. And Liverpool take the lead here against Luton. A superlative strike from the Liverpool captain. Breaks the deadlock.
What a fantastic shot. Really no chance for Beresford to get to it. But Cisse deserves a lot of credit here, and does Crouch. Crouch here holds it up nicely, resists the temptation to look for the shot, plays it to the open Cisse, an intelligent ball back from him. But what a thundering finish from Steven Gerrard. And that is a dispiriting goal to take, because it's just what I talked about a few minutes ago. It is that quick passing, it is that understanding, it is a high level of professional combination work among talented players around your box that there's not much you can do about it. And that's where they broke him down in the 15th minute.
After a bright start, Luton find themselves trailing to the reigning European champions, and Steven Gerrard continues his fine season of goal scoring. It's his 14th in all competitions, and I mean all competitions. He scored in the Premiership, in Europe, in the League Cup, in the World Club Championship, and now in the FA Cup.
Well, it was the only place really he could put it was, in fact, exactly where he put it, in that far corner, going from right to left. It was a magnificent drive, swerving all the way just inside the post. And Luton is a team that does not get shut out here. They were not in the league. They haven't been held scoreless since August here on their home ground.
Oh, now a chance for Carlos Edwards to make inroads. And he set up the shot for Kevin Nichols, which squirmed all along the ground. Perhaps a ray of optimism there for the home side.
Yeah, well, Risa was found a little bit wanting on that left side. They skinned him somewhat, and they get a corner on the deflected shot from Nichols.
Corner swung in by Robinson. Liverpool had the bodies back in the form of Huppier and Crouch to deal with it, but they're going to have another one to deal with.
Well, you see they line up to make runs from deep. And really, they've got very tall defenders to come up against, so they're going to make some running to get some leverage and challenge for these high sweeping balls. And here comes, of course, short one.
Edwards, one way then the other. Carlos Edwards delivers a great cross. Huppier once again is to the rescue for Liverpool. And then Berkovic with his back to goal. Another optimistic effort.
Well, here's another look. This ball must be struck just right, but look at the swerve on that thing. Absolutely fantastic. Into that bottom corner. The keeper has to cheat to his left post a little bit. There's no way he can make up the ground to the far post after that ball is hooking all the way away, all the way along by Steven Gerrard. But great build-up and patience by Liverpool around the box was what created the chance in the first place.
If you're a believer in omens, the last time Steven Gerrard scored in this competition, Liverpool went on to win it. Sissoko. Gerrard has been everywhere early on here. Sissoko helping it on its way. Xabi Alonso. Right into the path of Harry Kewell. Kewell decides to have a go and flashes it across the goal. Malcolm Beresford didn't get a touch.
No, in fact, it looked as though one of the other players might have, Peter Crouch might have had a chance to get a little bit of a touch in here. Sweeping movement again forward. Could Crouch get to this now? Probably not. He's got to stay on side, obviously. And clearly Kewell was going for goal there.
Finnan. Crouch. Cisse's run was checked by Marcus Heikkinen. Now Berkovic looking for his opposite number, Edwards. Carson dealing with the threat very capably. Carlos Edwards arriving on a free transfer from Wrexham, where he had been for 5 seasons. And she won a cup competition last year with them. It's the LDV Vans Trophy. Wrexham beating Southend in the final.
Before 80,000? Probably not.
Not quite sure what the crowd was that day, Seamus.
Before that, he was with in Trinidad and Tobago, and he's with a team called Defence Force, which has often produced players for the national side. And he's sort of symbolic of what they need here. They need a very good defence force against the likes of Liverpool, because there is going to be more attacking that they will have to deal with.
Luton regaining their composure gradually here. Kevin Nichols, as I say that, with an errant pass, giving the ball away. But likewise, Xavi Alonso, playing in his first ever FA Cup game, the ex-Real Sociedad man. Foley back to Coyne. Peter Crouch applying the pressure. First meeting between these two sides since the 1991-92 season. That was the last season that Luton were in the top flight of English football. They were relegated, of course, the season before it became the Premiership.
Right. Liverpool won that game, didn't they? 2-1, I think. But the one we all remember was the 87 third-round cup tie.
Edwards back to Foley. His cross, just eluding Rowan Vine. And the second ball played back in with too much strength by Kevin Nichols, who has also plied his trade with Wigan and Charlton Athletic. 14 goals last season from midfield as Luton stormed to the League One Championship.
Hugely popular player, Luton, as you mentioned, player of the year, but also just a real fans player. Likes to get the tackles in the middle of the field, and he can also spray the ball a bit too. He's not just a hard man, he's more than that.
Mike Newell has to be desperately disappointed that his side have conceded the early goal here midway through the first half. It's still Steven Gerrard's strike, and what a strike it was that separates the two sides. Crouch accused of perhaps leading with his elbow. He's been consistently booed every time he's got near the ball. He was a player who scored twice on this ground in the FA Cup back in 2001 when he played for QPR.
Well, his elbow is up high, but he's 6'7" to begin with, so he starts out with a high elbow. I don't know quite what he can do about it. But he was reaching in, and a shorter player is probably going to make elbow contact willy-nilly.
Steve Howard was looking on in hope and anticipation, but Parsons' throw has released Gerrard for another foray forward. Looks to operate at a different pace at times, Steven Gerrard, and there was a nasty challenge there, and a late one by Momo Sissoko. Sissoko is the most disciplined player in the Liverpool squad this season. He's had 8 yellow cards and 1 sending off, and he's about to add that collection with another booking.
Well, of course, he was the subject of some considerable controversy in the most recent match at Bolton, where he was accused by Sam Allardyce of a tackle that really should have had him sent off. And, of course, likewise, Gerrard accused of stamping on actually a former friend of his.
It was certainly very late, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was late.
Luton unable to profit from the resulting free kick, and then hit the ball away rather carelessly.
And speaking about Nolan, the player at Bolton.
Well, he just made someone's day, didn't he?
That's right. But Sam Allardyce wasn't buying even the dismissal of the incident by his own player. He still felt it was something that should have been punished. The FA said, not really.
Berkovic to Vine. Rowan Vine heading for the byline, delivering the cross. Oh, and a glorious opportunity. Steve Howard had his back to goal, but he was unmarked. He tried to pirouette and turn the ball in.
Well, Finnan is caught up here 2 against 1. Carragher comes over to bail him out, but It's not a very good job of defending, is it? By an England international against the youngster Vine. Very impressive start by Vine, but the Howard finish was really a wonderful opportunity that he squandered, losing his footing a little bit just as the time was there. I mentioned he scores a ton of goals for this club over the last couple of years.
Yeah, he's been scoring at the rate of just less than a goal every other game. Yeah. 96 goals in just over 200 appearances, Steve Howard.
But this man, Vine, I think, has really put the wind up. Liverpool defending on the right side. As I said, Finnan got caught up on a 2-against-1 situation, so he was victimized by that failure of the midfield to put pressure on. But Carragher was taken to the cleaners by Vine.
Sissoko again involved in an ugly confrontation, losing out this time. Berkovic, loose touch from Sami Hyypiä. Luton have Liverpool rattled at the moment, but can't exploit the situation. There's another pass that drifts beyond Carlos Edwards.
Yeah, well, Liverpool won't be happy with their passing just then. If the passing was magnificent at the other end, at that end it was pretty lacking. Short little passes to get out of trouble, not a bad idea than just whacking it aimlessly, which sometimes is the immediate sort of instinctive thing to do. But Nichols coming in 110% as usual. Sissoko looking for a decision to come his way. The referee says no, he played the ball. He did, but he had a very high boot and studs showing.
Cisse trying to return it into the path of Crouch. Cleared by Underwood. Back it goes to Scott Carson. Puel's flick on. The chase for the loose ball is won by Kevin Foley. Edwards. Accurate ball to Howard. Howard, maybe strike partner Vine, a little too much to do. Back it goes to Marlon Beresford. Luton Town goalkeeper, who is a perennial backup at the likes of Sheffield Wednesday and Middlesbrough.
Foley's been doing the job for them, hasn't he, in the right back position. He got out of trouble very nicely, but then I'm very impressed by the quality of his early ball forward. You know, early ball forward, lacking the quality you normally expect from Steven Gerrard, but Foley has hit a couple of very nice balls that he sort of pinged up the line there that have been very impressive.
Still some uncertain touches at the back for now for Liverpool, but they look more impressive going forward in the other direction. Gerrard just off the mark with that pass. The Kenilworth crowd starting to believe perhaps here. The stadium holds just over 10,000. I'm sure they could have sold it out 3 times over, if not more, for this match. Underwood inside. Miscommunication between Robinson and Edwards.
Yeah, really unfortunate, wasn't it? Because Edwards hasn't come in to provide very nice support there. They would have had a quick 2-against-1 against Sami Hyypiä. And again, the quality of the passing is quite good. It's occasionally just inconsistent, but players are getting into good positions. And Liverpool at times look a little bit lax in the defending around their own area.
Cisse into the path of Gerrard. Gerrard returning the ball into the danger area. It was well dealt with by Marcus Heikkinen. There was an infringement before he stooped to conquer anyway.
Yeah, I think Crouch had gone into an offside position. Let's take a look at him there. Yeah, you see he is in an offside position. And the flag went up and the whistle went. And Crouch, who can't stop scoring of late, having looked like he would never score in the first part, hasn't done much so far.
Rowan Vine continuing to cause problems.
Yeah, causing problems. Putting it mildly, he has really, on no occasion has he failed to deliver anything threatening. Every time he gets the ball, he puts it to very good use, and very often more than very good, but dangerous use.
This is Harry Kuehl. Crouch losing out to Chris Coyne. Berkovic. Oh, this is well worked. Howard is in here. This is Steve Howard for Luton. Well, you'd never know his team had just scored, would you? Mike Newell containing his emotions. Not so the crowd, who erupts. Steve Howard, Luton's top scorer, continues the trend and takes the opportunity. 1-1.
Well, this comes from very lackluster. Look at the middle of the field here. Nobody makes a challenge. There's one, but look at the amount of time. And he does beat the offside trap. He's got some work to do. Even when he gets past the keeper, he's got work to do. But it's really slow defending here between Hoopier's legs. Oh, my goodness. And now Howard's really got a terrific job in his hands, and he chips it in delightfully. But the lack of pressure on the ball coming through the middle of the park from a very experienced Liverpool team will not have Rafa Benitez very, very happy. So here again, it is very difficult to keep this team off the score sheet. Once again, they have scored at home.
And would you believe it, this Liverpool side that couldn't concede a goal in the Premiership until that 2-2 draw against Bolton. They'd gone 11 games, consecutive wins, keeping clean sheets left, right and centre. But then this happens.
Yeah, well, Carragher let him go, thinking that they were going to play the offside trap, but Howard made a nice little parallel run before he went behind the back four. And that threw off Carragher's. It was very savvy play.
Now Cisse. It was very well done by Marcus Heikkinen at the back. The danger still there, though, and Crouch goes down. No foul, according to Mark Clattenburg.
And a wonderful game, it really hasn't. It's been crisply played. There have been very few fouls of any kind, no niggling fouls.
Kuehl had a lot of work to do to keep it in. Now, what will the Liverpool response be to seeing their lead taken away? Finnan hasn't ventured forward much down the right-hand side. Sissoko will have some covering to do here as Luton again come forward with promise. Robinson releasing Vine. Rowan Vine into the penalty area. It's an indecisive touch by Xavi Alonso, but no harm is done. A real spring in Luton's step now, and why not? High foot, though, from Rowan Vine. And Mark Clattenburg will stop the play.
Yeah, well, Vine did very well in the previous play, except for his final cross. He had such magnificent crosses and square balls or little short passes to the edge of the box, and that time when they really had numbers up, he could not pick out a teammate, and the cross, the chance was squandered. So Liverpool themselves got to pick up the pace a bit here, pick up the intensity defending. The defending through the middle of the park has been lacking, and it was a little bit disguised, Adrian, because Luton were going by the middle of the park. When they started playing through it, they got some joy, got a goal.
Xavi Alonso was hoping for the run from Harry Kuehl. Well, there's Steve Howard. They signed him for just £50,000 from Northampton back in 2001.
Well, as you can see, he had to get the ball away, and he had to avoid the goalkeeper, and then he had to turn and make a very angled turn on the ball and be sure to find the net before the defenders could come back to the goal line. And they didn't get back in time. So the closest one, really, was Finnan.
What was the cobbler's loss was the hatter's gain when Steve Howard made that move. Crouch. Trying to get back and win back possession, but Carlos Edwards determined to keep it. Crouch, of course, has played his fair share of football on these sorts of grounds. Plenty of times in the lower reaches of English football, and certainly the second division, the Championship as it's now known.
Well, he's lacked intensity in this game, and he's been rather easily dispossessed by the pressing of Underwood and Coyne. He's not really had a very good touch of note in the match so far. And that, except for the one involvement he had, of course, in the goal, which was very, very professionally done, holding the ball, resisting the temptation to turn and shoot. I'm going to say this man has done the job so far. Middle of back, the leader, Nichols, captain.
Instead, Xavi Alonso finds Cisse. Now Kuhl. Liverpool build with purpose here. Sissoko. Right to Steve Finner. The momentum has just gone out of the attack here, though. Kuhl trying to re-establish it. Back to Gerrard. Kuhl can't get there first. Underwood snapping it away. Now Harry Kuhl again. Leaves it for Gerrard. This time Kevin Nichols just got a toe end in. As Gerrard was setting his sights once more. Howard. He's the pivot, releasing Nichols. Looking for Rowan Vine. Jamie Carragher could take no chances and concedes the corner.
Wonderful end-to-end stuff. Lovely to see Liverpool going right at the heart of this back four. It's where they got the goal from in the first time. From the shot, anyhow. The build-up was a little bit wide and central. But they've hung in there very tight, Luton. They're tackling tough, doing the job.
Steve Robinson. Corner that was hanging in the air invitingly. It was Nichols who was impeding in the area.
Is this offside? I think when the ball's released, he is in line with Risa at left back. You see him, number 6, trying to make the recovery run. But when the ball was released, I think he was exactly in line. And all too often, the flag goes up in those situations, and it is a treat to see the flag stay down. And not just for the underdog, I'm saying that. I just think it's what's supposed to happen. It doesn't really in most cases.
Certainly Risa was the Liverpool player caught out there, not moving forward. Gerrard is moving forward with some purpose, but the attack breaks down. Picked up by Vine. Space again for Edwards to run into, again to take on Risa. This is Carlos Edwards. This time Risa stood his ground, forced Edwards wide.
They're going to jink your way through two players of the caliber of Risa and Hupia.
Carlos Edwards has certainly enjoyed his moment in the limelight so far. Another chance to cross. Finnan's hook away, only as far as Underwood. Now Paul Underwood. Berkovic. Here it's only as far as Howard. Berkovic continued his run, but Alonso was across to snuff out the French. Crouch has not had an enjoyable first half.
He's not. He's not really playing very intensely. Gives away a corner there. He's taking way too much time on the ball. He looks, I won't say lackadaisical, but he's just not up to the pace required of this match, either in his thinking or in his acting.
Forward comes the ex-Aberdeen player, Marcus Heikkinen, Finnish defender. Swung into the near post and off the line. So nearly. Luton in front. And it was Steve Finnan who rescued them.
This is a wonderful flashing header here. He's back to win it. Finnan had to come from behind the line to clear it off, but out jumping all those tall players. That's impressive stuff. These corners have looked very threatening almost every time.
Robinson. Carson again with problems. Rowan Vine to keep the pressure on to the near post. A loose ball, a real scramble. But it wouldn't fall Luton's way, and Liverpool teetering, but survive.
Well, you could hear Scott Carson say keeper's ball as he came for that, but he didn't make it a keeper's ball. There's the carry. Now, does that hit Peter Crouch's hand? Perhaps, but very much ball to hand, inadvertent. No appeals really from the Luton players. Heikkinen was the one who came off the line and made a nice little run behind the backs of players who were all ball watching. Nobody picked him up in that unorthodox run away from goal towards the ball.
Heikkinen had 2 years at Pittodrie with Aberdeen, also previously with Portsmouth. 5 minutes to go here in the first half. Stephen Gerrard with a wonderful strike, but it seems a long time ago now, as Luton have really taken this game by the scruff of the neck and not only equalised but threatened to go one better.
Well, on the unpalatable side of Liverpool resorting to whacking balls forward, it's not the style that Rafa Benitez wants from them. They've got the talent to play good combination football through the park and speedy style, and they've been knocked off that game rather effectively by a very, very aggressive and competent Luton side, who, as you mentioned, are in 9th place, but they're only 3 points out of the playoff zone, although Preston, that team, does have a game in hand. They're going to be in for a fight near the end.
Still Luton threatening. Scott Carson with the save. And first to it was Jean-Arne Riise. Owen Vine with a stinging drive.
Well, the speed with which he got the shot away was the most impressive part of it. Just right through the middle of the defense for Liverpool, and then a great little half volley.
With the wind in their sails, in the ascendancy.
I would think the possession edge too, which is something that you do not expect against the likes of Liverpool.
Termination from Nichols. Coins ball to sharp turn. Oh, a wonderful goal for Luton. They are in dreamland. Superbly crafted and well taken by Steve Robinson. On the turn.
Well, look at him turn away from an international defender here. This again is Carragher away from him and then quickly buries it in the far post. That's a great turn away, but if Sven Bjorn Eriksson is watching this performance, he's going to have a few questions about whether Carragher is quite what he thinks he might be as a competitor in that very strong central defending position for England in the World Cup, because he has been found wanting twice now at fault on both those goals. He just misread it, didn't have the pace to recover. Wow.
So Liverpool, having been a goal to the goods, find themselves trailing here to a side 26 places below them in the football pyramid. But that's the magic of the cup for you. There haven't been too many shocks today, but there is undoubtedly one on the cards here now. Sissoko. Crouch to Steve Finnan. Can Luton protect what they have in this vital minute plus whatever stoppage time is left in the first half?
Well, this ball is really a wonderful little pass in there, but it requires a lot of work, and the first touch is what sets it up so beautifully. Spinning away, but how can you get away that easily from the likes of Jamie Carragher, who was caught very flat-footed by Steve Robinson? And the Northern Irishman then does exactly what Gerrard did at the other end. He's got to pick out the far corner, and he does it with great accuracy and composure. These have been 3 wonderful goals. But you'd have to say, Adrian, that Luton deserve to be ahead at this point. They've simply outplayed Liverpool for the last 25 minutes.
It's safe to say the biggest goal of Steve Robinson's career. Rowan Vine, even Jamie Carragher more palpitations.
They love that ball in there, just down that line. And there's a little bit of pushing there, perhaps by Vine. So his dive in the box, or his tumble in the box, rather, amounts to nothing. But I'd say I am very much appreciative of Berkovic in particular. His reading of the game and his ability to deliver that telling long ball down the line into space where runners are going has caused a lot of problems. You'd have to say that this crowd is pumped, excited, and wildly enthusiastic about the overall play of their team. And it's primarily because they've really taken over the middle of the field.
Well, supporters of lower division clubs just live for days such as these. Luton Town 2, the European champions Liverpool 1. And that is our half-time score. Steven Gerrard's strike cancelled out first by Steve Howard, and then just a couple of minutes before the break by another Steve Robinson, the biggest goal of his career. And Luton Town lead Liverpool by 2-1 here after 45 minutes. The magic of the cup well and truly alive here at Kenilworth Road. When we come back, we'll show you the highlights of an earlier game with Aston Villa taking on Hull City. Well, the FA Cup third round continues tomorrow here on ESPN, and what a game. Burton Albion of the conference taking on mighty Manchester United. Nigel Clough against Sir Alex Ferguson in the managerial stakes. You can see it live here on ESPN. Log on to ESPN.com, as always, to check your local listings wherever you're watching. Well, earlier today, Aston Villa faced a potentially tricky trip to Hull City, but they got the job done. First chance really in the 22nd minute with Lee Hendry producing a good save.
Yeah, and then Milner, who's been very good for them down the right side, also cuts inside of the left and just puts it over the top. Very tricky tie. Villa, of course, went out at Sheffield United last season.
Hull City perhaps came closest to opening the scoring. 56 minutes in, the header from Court was cleared off the line by Delaney.
Yeah, and they very nearly got the rebound away. No hands, though, is actually Hendry there.
And then finally the breakthrough arriving for Villa.
Yeah, very unlucky for the home side. It was a great shot by Barry, but it took a very cruel deflection and flew into the goal. And that was all Villa needed. You'll see a good look here at the deflection. Right there off the stretched leg, and it really strands the keeper. And that's the first time they've managed to get by the third round in a few years.
So Premiership class prevailing over a Championship side in Hull. Not the case here at Kenilworth Road so far. 2-1 to Luton at half-time. Here at Kenilworth Road, the half-time score, Luton Town 2, Liverpool 1. After the European champions had taken the early lead through Steven Gerrard. Well, it's a round where shocks can often happen. All 20 Premiership sides kept apart in this third round draw, but most of them have come through unscathed so far. A few will need replays as we look at the earlier scores. Arsenal, 2 goals from Robert Pires.
Yep.
A narrow win.
And Millwall held Everton 1-1, so they'll go back to Everton for the second match. Newcastle just scraping by on the lead. Shearer goal against Mansfield.
Likewise, Chelsea, Hidja Gudjohnsen in the 82nd minute with the winner. 2-1 against Huddersfield. Manchester City were losing at one stage against Scunthorpe United.
Right, a good win for Portsmouth away from home and against Ipswich Town. But Birmingham struggling at Torquay. They'll have to do it all over again at St Andrews in 10 days.
Perhaps the biggest shock of the day so far, non-league, non-Eton holding Premiership Middlesbrough to a 1-1 draw. A 90th minute penalty for the Minnows there, giving them a lucrative replay in 10 days' time. The games at the bottom of your screen will come on tomorrow, including Burton Albion against Manchester United. Steve Howard, one of the first half heroes for Luton Town, as they turned a 1-0 deficit into a 2-1 half-time lead. We'll show you how they did it next. Welcome back. back to Kenilworth Road here in Luton. The home fans absolutely ecstatic after a first 45 minutes, which has seen their championship sides gain the initiative here against European champions Liverpool. This is how they did it. They looked to be only one result, really, through the first quarter of an hour or so. Sami Hyypiä with the first opportunity of the evening for the Reds.
It fell to him from a corner, and he flashed it way across the goal and out of play. But Liverpool have been looking very threatening on set pieces. Finally get the goal on the 16th minute.
Yes, a moment of real quality. Crouch and Cisse setting up Steven Gerrard, who almost nonchalantly just stroked the ball home from 20 yards.
It was a great swerving shot. Good hold up by Crouch and playing Cisse back in for a terrific ball and an absolute thunderous strike into the bottom corner.
And then the Australian Harry Kewell with a cross-come shot near the 20-minute mark, which...
and from then on, it was all Luton, really, for the next 25 minutes. They dominated.
And it was a well-engineered move that led to Steve Howard's equaliser.
It's a lovely little ball from Berkovic, played through, and a well-timed run by Howard, beating the offside trap. There's the little ball between the legs by Berkovic. Hyypiä victimized there. Carragher let him go. Paid the price.
And the Finnish defender Markus Heineken rose to meet a corner, and only Steve Finnan's intervention prevented Luton from taking the lead. However, that's exactly what they would do 3 minutes later.
Yeah, it was another great ball from him, but a wonderful touch away. Jamie Carragher found very wanting there, being victimized by Luton Town player. Turning Robinson, turned beautifully away from it, then struck it nicely into that far corner.
So Steve Robinson, the former Spurs trainee and Bournemouth player, the biggest goal of his career to date. Luton, as you see, have dominated in most of the statistical categories as well. Look at that corner count, same as 6-1 in favour of the home side. So Luton Town, can they pull off a huge, huge upset here? They're 45 minutes away from the second half coming up next.
So no changes for either side. I wonder if it'll be some inspirational play here from Liverpool, or will they go to get some players off the bench to provide that inspiration?
For Benitez, fielding a very strong side tonight in a bid to avoid a repeat of last year's disaster at Turf Moor. Perhaps surprisingly, when you talk about the Liverpool bench leaving out Morientes tonight, only Cinema Pongolle really is an attacking option off the bench. But they're on the attack straight away with Harry Kewell. That was a good save from Marlon Beresford, tipping it over the top from the Australian.
Well, Heikkinen felt he was fouled here, and the ball ran loose for him. He does try to chip to the far post, but good positional play from Beresford, and the safety first to touch over the top.
So straight on the front foot, Liverpool. Steven Gerrard knocks it to the edge of the area. And the ball falling kindly for the home side, who can break. Too strong for Rowan Vine. It almost looked as though it was a corner kick. I think that's what Steven Gerrard is wondering. Corner kick they've been working on in training, except there wasn't anyone at the edge of the area.
No.
Risa was the man, I think, who was supposed to be stationed there.
Well, he certainly is the player you want to have there. He has that thunderous left foot. He scored some terrific goals for them.
Kewell again. Couple of step-overs, goes to the outside. Cut back from Kewell. Coins header away, only as far as Xabi Alonso. Went down, but not in a manner to convince Mark Clattenburg there was any foul. Sissoko, touch from Cisse, to no one in particular. Gabriel Cisse, another Liverpool player, making his debut in the FA Cup today. Hyypiä appeared to barge into Vine, who's still down. Edwards unable to keep it alive on the near side. It was Steve Howard who was the recipient of this from Sami Hyypiä.
Yeah, referee said play on because they did retain possession. Howard getting a clattering from Hyypiä. Luton Town's going to make it very, very difficult because they have these FA Cup qualities now that you need.
Now space for Kewell. A real opportunity this for Liverpool with Harry Kewell. Oh, and he's hit it too hard, but was there infringement in the area? Steven Gerrard went down.
Yeah, it's got to be a penalty, surely. Points to the spot.
The ball looked to be getting away from Steven Gerrard, but there was undoubted contact. Let's have a look again.
He runs across his legs. Perhaps you can see it there. Yeah, he runs across Steven Gerrard's legs. He tries to make up his mind and make it appear like there was nothing to it, but I'm afraid there was everything to it.
It was Nichols tracking back who caught him, and you wonder whether Steven Gerrard would have ever caught up to that ball.
Yeah, it was a rather bundled pass, but it's very definitely a penalty.
So it'll be Djibril Cissé from the spot against Marlon Beresford, looking to restore parity.
Well, he missed a chance to win the match against Bolton on the weekend with a late, great opportunity that he squandered. His header was wide. Now he has a chance to pull him back into this one.
It's Cissé, and it's saved by Beresford. Well, the amazing story here continues.
And it's saved and no rebound. I mean, he saved and held on to it. Well, it was not a very good penalty, really. That was hit with some pace, but it really didn't have enough width to it. One step and the goalkeeper is there. He guessed correctly. Cissé rather telegraphed it by his body. And it's just where the goalkeepers like it, off the ground about 1.5 feet. Doesn't take much of a dive to get to it. On the ground or way in the air is what you want. Cissé put it in exactly where keepers like to find it.
Djibril Cissé. 8 goals in the Champions League this season, but couldn't find a way past Marlon Beresford from just 12 yards out. And the 36-year-old goalkeeper writes himself potentially into Luton Town folklore here. To feel that was potentially a game-changing moment. Liverpool had come out of the blocks fast in the second half.
Look at the look on the face here. This is the same look I saw on his face after the Crystal Palace loss when they were beaten 16 games ago. There was that absolute frustration and incomprehension, really, that this can happen to a team of the sorts of the quality of Liverpool, champions of Europe. How can Crystal Palace or Luton Town, if you will, dare to try to knock him off? But this is the FA Cup, and this is what cup competitions are all about in England. Perhaps more so than in virtually any other football culture. This sort of thing happens on a routine basis.
So now Luton Town after that reprieve. Xabi Alonso trying to get Liverpool working back in the right direction. Steven Gerrard, who won the penalty, a little fortuitously perhaps. Alonso outnumbered. Hyypiä, rather uncertain from Sami Hyypiä, and a real opportunity for Rowan Vine here. He goes down, and is that to be another penalty? Surely.
And a red card, I would think, too, as a possible candidate here. Garson is reaching for a yellow card.
Unbelievable drama here at Kenilworth Road. We have our second penalty in about 4 minutes. Sami Hyypiä ponderous on the ball.
Wow, he was just over the line. I wanted to be across the line, but he is over the line right there. He's crossed the line.
Maybe there's a case, Seamus, the initial contact was just outside the box.
I was wondering on that second angle, it looked like they might have been, it almost looked like he was losing his footing, and then the contact took place inside the box, but he had already started to go down.
So a penalty for Luton, who lead 3-1. Rowan Vine gets up to take it himself. And what a turnaround here.
Well, now this is how you take the penalty. Low and into the corner. Take a look at it again. It's in fact Nichols. And that is driven beautifully. Impossible for the keeper to get down when he's hit with that pace and that width. And that's what Cisse did not provide at the other end. Now, I'll tell you, Liverpool are not playing for a replay. They are playing for it. They've got to get 2 goals to save this tie. And what another central mistake, central defending error, Adrian. Sami Hyypiä, victimized by the ball played between his legs for 1 goal and then being dispossessed for the next one. And this is maybe going to put a little bit more urgency and determination to get a new central defender, which I've been talking about in this month.
Kuhl's persistence. Now it's a dramatic rescue act that he's trying to lead for Liverpool. What a turnaround in the space of 4 minutes. A missed penalty by Cisse. And then Luton captain Kevin Nichols successful from the spot. Luton Town 3, Liverpool 1. Steven Gerrard, who's scored and won a penalty for the Reds tonight, trying to lead by example once more. He's found Cisse, but wide of the near post.
What an incredible action-packed match this hit. The first 45 minutes were very entertaining, but now it is really an absolute thriller. And here he is. Now, does he get touched there? He steps on the keeper and falls over him. And you really wonder if that should have been the penalty at all in the first place. He actually stepped on the keeper, lost his balance, and then fell on him. But from the referee's point of view, and certainly to ours initially, it looked like Carson had come out and swept his legs away, but not so.
It's one of those classic examples where replays tell a very different story, don't they?
Absolutely. Absolutely, no question.
Well, there is Rafa Benitez's only option, really, in terms of an attacking threat. Florent Sinama goal. Peter Crouch has had a torrid time tonight. Perhaps he will be a potential replacement. Liverpool.
Harry Kuhl hasn't done much either.
Have themselves a free kick. Oh, and Crouch was there. It's driven back across. And for a third time, but Harry Kuhl clears the crossbar with his effort.
Terrific ball played in, but unaccountably not met by anybody. Then they shot way off target by Gerrard, and then also even further off target by Kuhl. As I said, he has not contributed very much. A disappointing match for him. As for Peter Crouch, who has looked a step slow and almost every time he's near the ball.
One hike forward almost pays dividends. It might still with Cisse. His shot is deflected. And another corner for Liverpool, who are suddenly turning it up a notch here.
It's target practice time now, isn't it? Cisse, this falls beautifully for him, but it's good defending. It's going to be very difficult to beat Luton.
Well, all our prognostications were proved incorrect, because it's Momo Sissoko who's going to make way for Sinama goal. The 21-year-old Frenchman given his opportunity. He was part of that side that lost to Burnley last season. Gerrard. Oh, it was right there for Peter Crouch. But his miserable evening so far continues as he sends it over the top.
Well, he makes a great run here to get into the space that was vacated. You see it opens up for him nicely there for other runs. But his touch under some pressure is just not to quality enough. And that's been the taste, the story of Peter Crouch's match. It's just not been good enough. He's there in a chance like that, he's got to put it away. And the distraction of a defender on him seems to undo him more than it ought to at this level.
Cinema Pangol, his first touch, provided by Harry Kewell. Quickly crowded out, but does well to work out of a jam. And rather spoils it by giving it away. Luton. Rowan Vine, who won that penalty, fairly or not. This time impeded by John Arnorisa. He's only played 7 times in the Championship this season, Rowan Vine. Scored 3 goals. Chris Coyne, the Australian defender, coming forward for this one. Free kick sent in towards Coyne. Hoopier this time with a more decisive contribution. Let's make no mistake about it, this is really, with the exception of Scott Carson, the first choice starting lineup at the back for Liverpool. And Carragher and Hippier in particular have been made to look very ordinary.
They really have. They've been incredibly weak in some, if you recall, basic defending expectations. Central defender caught with the ball at his feet and no support behind him. It's just unthinkable at this level. Easily dispossessed and then nutmegged initially on another goal. The goal that tied it up. Therefore, trying to get this ball back into play quickly. But there's half an hour left for Liverpool to get 2 goals to send it back to Anfield in 10 days.
Both central midfielder players have scored for Luton. Edwards to Howard, who's also on the score sheet. Slip from Paul Underwood. Now Cisse. Room to roam. Cisse to the byline. Couldn't match the approach play with the accurate cross.
Oh, it's a great run by Cisse, though. You could see him just pulling away from the defender over 10 yards. He was by him, but the cross was really poor.
As was that attempted pass from Xabi Alonso. He picks up possession again, though. Hoopier. Just too high for Crouch. Moment's indecision in midfield costs Luton.
Others have thought Xabi Alonso was the one with the high elbow. I think he has a point, frankly.
Crouch and Cinema Pangol both making darting runs, but Luton defence swarming. Past the hour mark here. Luton Town 3, Liverpool 1. Can the European champions rescue themselves here? About to witness the real first major shock this third round. It could be better yet, and Carlos Edwards forcing Scott Carson to save low. It's still alive for Luton here, a free header, but the flag had gone up. Wouldn't have counted even if Steve Howard had put it in.
I don't know, that was a very close call, but Jan Arnorisa had all kinds of trouble in the previous play. Once the ball put in, must have been Finnan had moved up because Liverpool had won possession, so it's quite reasonable to think that he was ahead of Howard.
We talked about that Liverpool central defence and their wish to bolster it. They are looking to bring in Daniel Agger, who's a Danish defender, on the verge of signing from Brøndby.
Yeah. Maybe not a moment too soon. I mean, you would hardly think that all of a sudden their central defence has become unreliable because it's been so good so far, but not tonight.
Now Cinema Pangol, opportunity for Liverpool. It's 3-2. Is it the start of a comeback? Florent Cinema Pangol, just his 2nd goal of the season, and Liverpool are right back in it.
A great surging run from the middle of the park, and they let him go. They try to play the offside trap, but there's all kinds of space for him to run into. Requires a good, thundering, confident finish, and he provides same with panache. This is a man who, as a young player, scored 2 hat-tricks in a World Championship for an under-17 team, so he's capable of goals in numbers. As I said, they're now 1 goal closer to getting the replay. Maybe they have bigger ambitions than that. However, they better be sure to tighten things up at the back of it.
What an absolutely cracking cup tie. Hope you're enjoying this wherever you're watching. There's every indication the goal scoring hasn't finished yet. Once again, Huppier having to make a timely intervention. This time offside as Scott Carson came out. So Florent Sinama-Pongolle responding to his super sub role here.
A great ball from Gerrard. Pulls it to his right to get the goalkeeper moving towards the left post. That opens up the far side of the goal. And that's where he puts it nicely. Another foul by Crouch. But Sinama-Pongolle off the bench was the tonic required. And my goodness, it did not take him long to produce. Well, they took off a midfield player, obviously. A defensive midfield player. And came through with an attacking player, and it worked. Sissoko going off. Kind of an indifferent game himself, too.
Sinama-Pongolle pirouetting, winning the free kick. Quickly on with it. Finnan's cross is a good one. Cisse. A header that flashed across the face of goal, eluding Peter Crouch.
A lot of weight on this man's shoulders. Missed a penalty. Now misses a very good chance. Peter Crouch is the player you would think they tried to pick out, but it's a short, near post one. Not expect of him from a 12-yard header, really, but was not hit with the kind of authority. Direction was well intended.
Howard and Huppier in a tangle. Risa stepping in. Crouch, a heavy first touch.
Terrible touches of Peter Crouch. Goodness. It's just playing like a water buffalo out there. It's just...
Foley, threaded to Edwards. Xabi Alonso helping on his way to Gerrard. Likewise to Steve Finnan. Back to Steven Gerrard. Liverpool looking threatening here. Risa joining the build-up. Cross to the far post. Cisse!
Oh.
That's a full-blooded volley from Djibril Cisse. Beresford will claim he had the near post covered in any case.
Great ball from Risa. Cisse in excellent position. And he fairly whistles it at that post, but once again he's off target. Frustration level building for him. Had a penalty saved. Risa finally getting forward. He's the kind of player who can tie this match for you with one lethal, powerful shot of his left foot. It's all Liverpool right now.
Cisse, who's been almost continuously linked with Marseille. He came out and rubbished those accusations.
Including those of his brother. It is... Yes, incredible. He says, you know, it's one thing to have these rumors, but when it comes from the family, it's a bit much.
Carlos Edwards, who grew up in Trinidad supporting Liverpool, said during the week they used to pretend he was John Barnes. Playing in Trinidad.
Not a bad role model to pick out. Edwards had a good game here. Just got the goal for them on the weekend to put them back in the match against Watford. They could not come all the way back. Now they're hanging on to 3-2. 24 minutes still to go.
Corner kick for Liverpool. Won by Sinama-Pongolle, and he's undoubtedly made a difference.
Yeah, the whole pace of the game, the whole concentration has stepped up. Here's the quick corner.
Gerrard. Left foot low cross. Sent behind his own goal by captain Kevin Nichols.
Well, the sleeping tiger has been awakened. That's really what it is. I mean, they were some very, very, very somnambulant moments, and now they really come to life.
Gerrard to the near post. Underwood keeping his focus and concentration. I feel the Luton defence are going to need those qualities in abundance if they're to protect this lead.
Boy, Peter Crouch cannot get near the ball in the penalty area. That was an inviting cross to him, but he had two players on him.
Helped on his way towards Hupia, but the clearance was successful. Berkovic. A little bit too optimistic with his pass, looking for Rowan Vine.
Now, he's had success with that in the first half. A little bit of anxiety on the touchline here to try to achieve some possession. That's what they need at the moment. They're just not getting a grip on the ball at all. There's Peter Crouch finally wins a header. But it goes to an opponent.
Xabi Alonso! Oh, I say, what a goal! An unbelievable strike from Xabi Alonso. And in Liverpool's hour of need, the Spanish midfielder produces this.
Well, it's a different ball, but you've got to fault the keeper a little bit here. It takes a while to get there. It dips under the crossbar. And Beresford backing frantically, but this is a 35-yard shot under some pressure. At least sees the keeper out. Beresford is backing up, but he just claws at it, can't reach it. And now they're not playing for a return to Anfield. Now they're playing to wrap it all up here.
Unbelievable stuff at Kenilworth Road. Luton are in dreamland at 3-1. Now they could be behind. Crouch's header is wide of the mark. But what a turnaround. There appeared to be no immediate danger when Xabi Alonso picked up possession here.
Yeah, he just has a go from 35, almost 40 yards out. And Beresford, you got a feel for him. And the ball may have taken a bit of a deflection off the boot, but he's simply not backing up strongly enough, with enough conviction. He had time to get under it. He held his position, but misjudged the flight and tried to swat at it at the last minute.
So the 3-1 lead has disappeared. Now they have it all to do again, Luton. To their great credit, really never attempted to throw bodies behind the ball and protect what they had. Perhaps they should have done.
You know, on the other hand, Adrian, if you give possession, when you do that, you give possession away. If you give it to a team like this, what they can do with possession, you're really slaughtering yourself.
Gerrard in full flight, checking back for Harry Kewell. Likewise to John Arisa. There are gaping gaps and huge spaces out there now. Finnan working an opening. Cross was beyond Cinema Pongol and Cisse.
It's sad for Finnan. He did so well to set it up. He's looked very good bringing the ball forward. I wonder what Kronkamp is making of all of this on the touchline. His first match in England, on the bench, watching this new club, Liverpool, play against a lower division team.
Well, there was a feeling that Kronkamp might be handed a start tonight. It would have been a baptism by fire.
That was a smart move not to do that.
Well, Mike Newell and Brian Steed still not displaying much in the way of emotion. But they've got to be somewhat gutted from a position of power. Luton have had their lead eroded.
Yeah, I mean, you know, one of the interesting things, you talked about the missed penalty being pivotal. Perhaps not so at this stage.
Luton friendly again. Howard goes down under challenge from Hupia. What's the decision here?
He's given offside.
Perhaps handball.
Oh, maybe handball, yep. Certainly not offside. Let's see the ball come in here. Yes. It looked like he took it in his chest, but his hands were right down by his sides. He may have touched his hand.
Cisse. Wide to Finnan. Gerrard! Well, that could have been goal bound.
What I was going to talk about the penalty at the other end that was given, and that might not have been a penalty, was the key thing is there was a yellow, not a red card. If that had been a red card to Carson, that could have changed, that could have really finished the match off. So I think we've raised doubts about whether it was a good decision to give the penalty in the first place, but very difficult for the referee to see, frankly. But perhaps wise that he gave the yellow and not the red.
And so often goalkeepers are dismissed in that type of situation. Foley's header away.
Look at Risa going way up from his left-back position.
Harry Kuehl hasn't really been able to stamp his authority on proceedings. Risa. Gerrard has been inspirational as ever. Finnan becoming more involved. Great cross and a header! And Cinema Pongolle completes the comeback for Liverpool. From 3-1 down, they now lead 4-3. It's his second of the night. And the balance of power, perhaps, has been restored here.
Wow, this is so discouraging for Luton. Cinema Pongolle, I said a while ago, somewhat jokingly, that he's a man who scores hat-tricks in World Cups at the under-17 level, but the way he's going tonight, he could easily get 3 or 4. He's picked up 2 since he's come on in about 15 minutes. Well, it's been a different Liverpool since they went down 3-1. They finally, it took that really, essentially, Adrian, to wake them up. And they've now just bossed it.
Well, rather belatedly, perhaps, Mike Newell making a defensive change with Leon Barnett replacing Marcus Heikkinen at the back. I wonder if he should have done that 10 minutes ago. Easy to say after the fact, of course. But what an astonishing game. You want the magic of the cup? Well, you've got it tonight. Credit the European champions for a spirited fight back at 3-1 down. It looked as though there was going to be one of the shocks of the round on the card.
Yellow card to Coyne.
And now it's the Liverpool fans away to our left who are making the most noise. Almost something else to cheer about as Steven Gerrard rifles a free kick over the top.
Yeah, a slightly different expression now on his face. All these goals have been flying in. What is it, 3 goals in 11 minutes?
Well, there have been claims that this...
They've done that before, if you remember.
That's
in
right.
A little town called Istanbul.
Slightly different cup competition.
That's right, slightly different, excuse me.
Harry Kuehl. Cinema Pongolle. Liverpool simply in full flow at the moment. Looking irresistible. It took them to be trailing by 2 goals to really, in a sense, wake up.
Yeah, it got too easy for them, didn't they? They got the 16th minute goal, and they can't be forgiven, but they can be sort of can be excused a bit for saying, well, okay, this is going to be fairly easy. Well, not so. They were 3-1 down before they knew it, and they missed a penalty, but they still kept working away at it with great skill and wonderful interpassing. And eventually, class just simply takes over.
Free kick. Sliced away only as far as Crouch. More comfortable this time for Marlon Beresford. Here's the substitute, Leon Barnett. 20-year-old hometown player. He's actually the first player ever for Luton Town to play in the under-17, under-19 reserves and first team in the same season.
Well, there's the header. I think the problem is also why that substitution comes here is that left-back position has just been scorched in the last 15 minutes. They've just not been all the crosses have been flying in from there, and that's been a real problem. Not been able to close them down. And here's Kromkamp, and they're saying, do you really want to go into this thing? Wouldn't you rather just have the post-game tea and then wait for another day?
Next pointing out where the right-back position is and telling him to stay there as well.
Right. Well, they got a lead now, so they'll presumably take off an attacking player and just make sure that this 4-3 lead isn't squandered.
Well, there are those that claim this competition has become devalued over the past 5 years, particularly since it moved away from Wembley in terms of how the final was staged. It could be going back to Wembley this year. That remains to be seen whether it's actually finished in time.
That's right. Depends on some decent weather and accelerated construction schedule. But and of course, England will be playing some friendly matches there. I think the final match is there. They're playing Jamaica.
Well, your prediction was correct. Peter Crouch. Not a happy return for him, rather, to the ground where he scored twice in a 3-3 draw 5 years ago. Didn't look like scoring tonight, really.
No, he didn't. But, you know, on the other hand, the winning goal, if it is the winning goal, came in large part because he was marked by 2 players. And Songo'o got into a free space that was created. And that's one of the things that his teammates will tell you. You know, Peter Crouch, he's not playing that well. He still represents a threat, takes people away.
Cisse. Great challenge by the substitute, Barnett. And Carlos Edwards giving the ball away. Hasn't been quite as effective in the second half as he was in the first. The Trinidadian. Berkovic. Is there to be another response from Luton Town? They did trail in the first half, of course. Turn that around. Is it asking too much for them to do it again?
Well, they're still a little bit shell-shocked. I mean, there's 12 minutes to go, 11 minutes to go, plus added time. Actually, this has been an injury-free game when you think about it. It's been relatively foul-free. It's been a fantastic example of what the FA Cup is all about.
I was going to say an answer, really, to those who doubt the relevance of this competition. Liverpool obviously want a part of it this year, perhaps claim that wasn't the case 12 months ago. Rafa Benitez new to English football, realising perhaps the significance of the FA Cup. Rowan Vine chasing down Sami Hyypiä, winning that duel. Now Harry Kewell. Recovering tackle from Kevin Nichols. 10 minutes to go. Luton Town 3, Liverpool 4. Carlos Edwards is going to make way. It'll be Northern Ireland international Warren Feeney, who is his replacement. And another striker coming on, and that's Nigerian Enoch Shawonmi. He's going to replace Ahmet Berkovic, so it's a real roll of the dice here by Mike Newell, bringing on 2 strikers to replace, in essence, 2 midfield players.
Well, he's going for the chance of a replay here, trying to get the 4th goal and at least force it to another match in 10 days, which is what we thought would be Liverpool's aim when they went out 3-1, but they went one better than that, and that's Feeney has been a buddy of Kewell because they were together at Leeds. And they talk to each other, they say, about a couple of times a week. So he was warning Kewell about what to expect from Luton. It's going to be a very difficult game, and that was certainly true.
Cisse back to Xabi Alonso. Camp's first touch as a Liverpool player. Just so Camp will be slipping in the right midfield slot.
Yeah, Steven Gerrard has moved a lot more centrally when the urgency for him playing a dominant role came.
Steve Howard was threatening, needed the touch back from Carragher.
Oh, that's lovely from Kewell. Kewell's really come to life.
Now Cisse threatening to do the same. Djibril Cisse, oh, heavy touch. Spoilt it for the Frenchman after he'd done all the hard work.
He's flying so fast, it requires good close control. In the 83rd minute, that close control sometimes can elude you. A lot of running. Frustrating day for him, but not for Risa. Here he comes thundering down the left side.
After charging down the cross from Foley, he runs almost unimpeded to the opposing penalty area. Cinema Pongolle afforded time to reset his sights. Finnan outside to Jan Kronkamp. Kronkamp's cross all along the ground, squirms to Pongolle. Harry Kuehl, Luton unable to make a convincing clearance. Steven Gerrard, a shot which was blocked before he reached Beresford, but the pressure still on here. Risa's swerving effort with the left foot.
We knew he was going to get in at least one of those in the game, and he just didn't get it angled enough towards either post, but it certainly took a nasty little curving turn there. Beresford did well to just get his fists on it.
Kronkamp running into Steve Robinson.
Look at this thing go right and then left and then right again. Incredible.
Oh, Beresford really did well to change direction and react to that shot.
Yeah, I mean, he's never going to forget the goal he gave up, unfortunately, the third goal. But he must remember he saved a penalty, and that was a very good save. Keeps him in it.
Cinema Pongolle bursting into the area. Wanted a corner kick, but none forthcoming from Mark Clattenburg.
He's exciting, isn't he, Cinema Pongolle? He's a really wonderful player to watch, and a lethal weapon off the bench to bring some life to a team, get some goals and fire them up. That's what he did.
Now Warren Feeney, first chance to run at the Liverpool defence for him. Barnett stepping in. Kevin Foley. And looking for Feeney. Kuehl tidying up, but catching Cisse offside in the process. 4-3. There was only one other game in the third round of the Cup which produced as many goals, a similar scoreline down in Southampton as the home side beat the Milton Keynes Dons by the odd goal in 7. And it's the first time this season that Liverpool have scored 4 in a game. They've won 6 previous games by a 3-0 scoreline.
Xabi Alonso staying up here. He's really had a very good second half. Yes, he's got that goal, but also he's been taking the ball from in front of the back four and distributing it really well. Gerrard has gone forward in front of him.
Can Luton possibly stage a late rally here? Shawonmi. He's a powerful midfielder, Enoch Shawonmi. Very much used to the super sub role as well. Started 7 games last year, but came on 28 times. Luton's march to the championship.
Interesting guy, one of the few people playing at this level who has actually completed a university degree.
Harry Kuehl, can he open his account for the season? He can't, at least not yet. Cinema Pongolle, 2 already.
Oh.
Now, of course, looking for a hat-trick against the Hatters.
Almost broke away there. It's a great little turn of speed. Credit to Underwood for getting the boot in.
Foley back to Nichols. Shawonmi's run was the one he was looking for. Barnett stepping in. Back to Nichols. Oh, loose ball which almost fell for Warren Feeney. Scott Carson coming out to Liverpool's rescue there. Kuehl. much on into Cisse. It's a game that has simply flowed from the earliest point. Seamus, you already pointed it out. Remarkable lack of stoppages. No real injuries. Tidy work from Paul Underwood. Nichols, who put Luton 3-1 up just before the hour mark. Shawonmi scored offside.
Very difficult to be sure about that one.
So Djibril Cisse will make way without having contributed in the goal-scoring department. He's a missed penalty to remember for his evening, but it looks as though it's not going to cost him. He's also going to have a yellow card to remember. He was booked for leaving the pitch too slowly by Mark Clattenburg. Stephen Warnock, defensive replacement.
Jittery moments at the tail end here for Benitez. He saw some attempt to rally by Luton, gets a little bit nervous, gets another defensive player in. He's gradually getting an education, isn't he, Benitez, in cup play in this country, in England.
Camp leaving Finnan with some work to do. Into the final minute of normal time. How much stoppage time is the main question to be answered here. Simply magnificent cup tie. Mike Newell at the moment sees his side on the wrong end of a scoreline. Liverpool threatening again with Kronkamp. Cinema Pango let it go to Gerrards. Well, he couldn't match the finish he provided back in the 16th minute, in the final minute.
A bit of a challenge in here that catches him late too. Coyne comes clattering through at the edge of the box. Everybody's hearts in their mouths on that one, both for club and country.
Well, there's the answer to the question. 3 minutes. Leon Barnett. A nod down from Feeney. Barnett again. Chris Coyne. Good ball for Feeney. There's a second chance. Luton need possession deep in Liverpool territory. Shawonmi bursting through, but Scott Carson, an easy read for him. Some of the crowd in the top of your screen, you can see, starting to drift away. It was a spirited fight back by the European champions, who, if not quite dead and buried, certainly looked down for the count. An hour of this game gone. Shawonmi helping it on its way. This is Rowan Vine. This time closed down with determination. And Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, it was good defending by Warnock in off the bench into an absolute fierce battle, and has the composure not to lunge for something, maybe give away a penalty. And instead manages to shepherd the problem away over the end line and get them a goal kick.
Well, 19 years ago, Liverpool came here in the third round of the Cup and conceded 3. The difference was they didn't score on that night. They went out 3-0. Here they're on the verge of an unlikely turnaround. Cinema Pongolle could yet make it better. He elects to head for the corner flag. Oh, he's done well to find Gerrards. Was begging for a finish. Nobody there. Of course, they've taken off both Crouch and Cisse.
Yeah, Kuehl was in fact the single striker at this point. Never walk alone. Rings out in the 93rd minute when it's fairly safe to do so. Or is it?
60,000 Liverpool fans made the trip to Istanbul. Slightly less tonight, I imagine. Could there be late drama yet? Kevin Foley. Feeney's ball. Oh, it almost breaks kindly. And it needed swift intervention by Steve Finnan. At the expense of a corner, however. The last opportunity for Luton Town to yet snatch something from this tie, and Marlon Beresford is going to come forward for this. Luton Town goalkeeper, all hands on deck here. The corner arrives and it's headed out. Only as far as the corner kick taker, delivers again. And then Liverpool can clear. Marlon Beresford could be stranded here. There's no one in goal for Luton Town. And Xabi Alonso has rolled it from a long way out. And it's going to be a goal. A remarkable end to a remarkable game. Xabi Alonso, having scored from 35 yards out the first time, scores from inside his own half.
He gets better the further back he goes from goal. And this takes a long time to get there. But the referee, having let the time play at the other end, the counter-attack, he's obviously going to let it run through there. Oh, he didn't need to. What an unbelievable result. 5-3, and people say, well, that wasn't too hard for Liverpool, was it?
Memorable FA Cup third-round tie comes to a close with the almost unbelievable scoreline. Liverpool 3, or rather Luton Town 3, Liverpool 5. We can barely fit all the goal scorers on the page. But what an evening to remember. Luton 3-1 up at one stage, then conceding 4 goals in the last half an hour of the game. And the European champions rescuing themselves. It will be they who progress to Monday's 4th round draw. Liverpool 5, Luton 3. We'll be back to wrap things up from Kenilworth Road after these words. It proved to be an 8-goal thriller here at Kenilworth Road. This the final moment, and rubbing salt into the wounds really for Luton this.
Yeah, it was a great finish. Xabi Alonso, who really had a spectacular second half. A great goal from about 35 or 40 yards out over the goalkeeper at Travis at fault, but that time just breaking away and icing the match.
Well, will the goals continue to flow tomorrow in the FA Cup? But now we'll be hoping so. They take on mighty Manchester United. That game at home for them at the Pirelli Stadium. You can see it live here on ESPN. Check your local listings for the times where you're watching. The FA Cup third round continuing tomorrow. But Liverpool, the reigning European champions, coming through a really stern test tonight. Steven Gerrard gave them the early lead, but from then on, Luton took command. They were 3-1 in front with just over half an hour to play.
Well, the match had everything, didn't it? A saved penalty, a dubious given penalty, and you know, goalkeeper not sent off, when very often they are, and then fantastic rally. 3 goals in 11 minutes again by Liverpool. A match never to forget.
Well, we hope you enjoyed our coverage. How could you not, really? It was a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more information, you can log on to espndeportes.com or espnsoccernet.com. Don't forget, the Cup continuing tomorrow right here on ESPN. But for now, from all of us here, for Seamus Mallon and all our crew, I'm Adrian Healy saying good night.